Okay, so I switched up the camera so you get a really close look here. So basically using this old part, which we're not going to throw away or wreck or anything, I cut up some late tin, very late tin, with tin snips and formed it. I did it in two pieces because this bendy bit here is really, I wanted to work it and get it just right. So it was easier to do it as two pieces instead of one piece. But if I was more ambitious, I guess I could do it in one piece. Modeled it right after this part. So that part's the same. That's what's different. So you can see that, right? So it's all coming together. You can see how the second ball is going to cradle in that spot. So let's just trial fit. Yeah. Trial fit looks good. This is the Atlantis. So you can see this this coin box has already been kind of robbed of a whole bunch of stuff. It came to me that way. It didn't have a complete set of mechanicals in there, and it's set on free play anyway. So this is the piece I need right here, this little lever. So when you press the coin return, this little arm, this arm is what we're going to use to kick out the multi-ball onto the playfield. It works. 11:30 seconds. Yeah. This is the 70s. Of course it's not metric. But probably the same as about an 8mm. Don't know. But it's definitely 11:30 seconds. Just let that spring stay there. I'll probably rig up something to get those coin return buttons working again so they feel right. They're not going to be connected to anything, but you know, you don't shoot them in and they just sort of stay in, right? I'm sure there's a way to rig up this spring with some, you know, some basic piece that I can make to make it return back. But this is the piece you wanted right here. So it's on these old coin doors. This is the piece. I'll bring it back over to the playfield. Yeah, this is the piece. You can see this this screw is pretty fancy. Regular washer, circlip. Fits into this plastic nylon thing here. And that's how we're going to use it. We're going to put it in the underneath the apron there, and it's going to flick. Maybe we can get this thing back off. I can show you what I mean. I'll do it after. Okay, so this. Yeah, so do I have all the pieces? Oh, there's that plastic thing. Yeah, and I got the insert. Yeah, I got the insert for the solenoid. I don't know if that's the right angle. I mean, I could try this and see if it works out okay. Maybe it's fine. Maybe it's fine. I just feel like maybe a shorter stroke and a more direct pull might be more efficient here. I don't know. Well, hey, I'm gonna maybe try it with the full length. See how that goes. I think I can just make the bracket, sort of hold it down, tape it down, and test it out. Make sure it's got the power and everything works, and that it bounces freely here. Okay. Okay, these brackets for the solenoid, they're a little bit trickier to make than I'd like to admit, but they're done now. Okay. Basically, you want this thing to be in there solid, you know, so it doesn't move around. Obviously, right? So that's the first piece, the key piece. Something like that it's going to go. And I wanted it, I think, pretty close to flush with the table. I don't know if I accomplished that, but we'll see. I didn't mate them yet. There's the other bracket here. I had to round that out with a strange looking boring tool. It's a pretty big hole to fit, and filed it with a little file to get it right. So, but I'm going to move it around before I lock it to make sure I've got the right angle, because it's all a little bit bendable at this point. You know, you don't want the shaft to bind or anything. Once you bolt it down, you want a smooth action with the with this thing. Okay. Yeah, I think I might cut it because it wants to take all the room. Maybe it's okay. Could try it. I suppose there's no harm in trying. Just sort of tape it down, and I feel like it's doing a lot of lateral movement at the pivot point here. You know? I mean, I guess it would work. One less thing to cut. And I think the longer I leave that bakelite shaft, the more flexibility I have, you know, for things to sort themselves out with the alignment. You know, I kind of wish that tab wasn't in the way So I could put this on top. Actually, I think it's more naturally wants to be on top here. But that tab's in the way and I really don't feel like cutting into it. This will work, so I'll leave it as it is. Okay. So basically there, that's where it's going to go. Just like that. So I don't see any problems with interference or anything like that. I think what I'm going to do first though is tape it down in that spot, activate it with some wires, and make sure that the action is exactly as it should be, that the plunger pulls in. It's on there. Let's get this one on there. All right. Yeah. It's on there. Okay, so we're looking inside the coin door here. This is the knocker on the side here. When you score a free game, it knocks. So this is what I'm going to wire the free ball to, or the multi-ball to it. Just temporarily. I got some wires here that I've stripped on the other end. Fed it down through the top of the playfield. And I'm just going to do this loose for now. I do have the machine unplugged, by the way. Well, I do think it would be easy to do this with the playfield up. Okay, so the ramp's working okay. What I'm going to do is activate free game to see if it'll knock and work as it should. Okay, moment of truth. Let's see if this all works. Oh, it didn't connect. Actually, you know what? I need the special. That's what I need. Forgot. It's the special that knocks it, not the extra ball. Yep, it worked. Yeah, it worked. It knocked and it flicked. It worked. It worked so fast I couldn't even really tell if I had any issues with it. I didn't feel it twitch or anything here on this end. Okay, so the switch is screwed in. Those are tiny screws. They're not the same as the number 6 half-inch that I used on the top of the playfield. These are smaller thickness. I just used whatever was lying around, but whatever they are, they had to be smaller. So next thing to do is this switch is going to connect the negative. I'm going to disconnect the negative off the kick-out hole switch and run the wire from this negative to this switch, and then out the other end, and then back to the negative of the kick-out hole switch. So it's going to do a loop. That way both switches will need to be closed for the kick-out hole to kick. Alright, so I've soldered up that brown wire to the original negative, and the original negative I've soldered up to the other brown wire and just tucked it away. So that's all connected. Down here in the knocker, I've wrapped a couple wires going to my new solenoid for the multiball around that knocker, positive and negative, and I soldered them in place. They're not going to come loose or anything. Perhaps more. Or maybe that's okay. Yeah, maybe that's okay like that. Oh, don't want it to get stuck. Okay, I'm just doing an update on this little project. So played it for a few days, and with the original shape of this gate here, and there was a problem with it actually. I didn't think it was going to be a problem, but I wouldn't have known until we started playing it. Actually, the one ball was parking itself right on top of the other ball, and it would just sit there, and you have to wiggle it to get it off, you know. And it did it enough times that it was like, you know, going to be an issue. You know, the kids are playing, and you know, I'm upstairs and I'm like, Daddy, the ball is stuck again. So I'd have to come down and shake it and stuff, and realize, you know what, that just kills the flow of the gameplay and everything. So I tried to, you know, modify it and change it, and I realized a complete redesign was in order. The original shape was kind of modeled after the original fence shape, but you know, thinking about it, rethinking it really, what I did was I moved it so that the ball wasn't here but was way over here now. So I moved this new shape, so I widened it and made it so that the angle, instead of going back this way up the playfield, it's pointed this way. So this, I'm just putting it in place here to test it out. But the idea is the ball couldn't possibly park itself there. Oh, it still is here, see that? But if I move it ever so slightly further, and it's going to be balanced here, it shouldn't be possible for that ball to get parked there. You know, it should just be enough of a nudge that it doesn't park there. And if it happens to, like the slightest movement would make it fall. And you know, most of the time it's going to come in rather roughly. It's not likely to park there. But so along with that, I put in this this W shape, so that when it falls off this ball, it won't get stuck in the middle. This is just a trial. It's a little bit too shallow, this W or this V here. The ball can still get sort of stuck there. So I need to make that a little bit bigger too. So I'm just doing a little bit of prototyping here with a thin piece of metal, trying out the shape. I'm going to do some more modifications to it till I get it so that I think it's more or less foolproof. Now because I've moved the ball and everything, I'm probably going to need to move this whole kicker arm and everything too, unfortunately. So, but I think the end result is something that should be working flawlessly, as opposed to, you know, looks good but doesn't work so well, right? So I'm gonna have to move it around and play with it a little bit and modify the design, and so I'll continue to work on that, and then I'll come back with what I think should be the final shape after I'm done the prototyping. Launched it right up the playfield, right where it should. That's good. Initial test. Try again here. Try to watch it a little bit more carefully. Yeah, it's right on target. Right on target. Yeah, it does seem a little loose here. I am concerned a bit that it's overextended. You know, I can easily move that solenoid up a bit as necessary, basically. Yeah, it seems to be working just fine. But so far, you know, happy with this as a modification, and I think this is very close, if not the final shape that I'm going to stick with. All right. Okay, I got the apron on, and I bent the piece over. I can, but yeah. So that's it. So with the apron on, we'll see how it works. Watch this. Yeah, it launches beautifully. See if I can think of any other changes I might want to make before I go ahead and make it a permanent piece in this shape, and log it all down, you know. So good. So we're at a good point to take a break and just play some games and enjoy it and see how it goes.